Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
And now, please welcome at this time your hosts, Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau. You're listening to the next era of wrestling radio. This is WrestleRant Radio.
Back now on WrestleRant Radio for March 13th, 2025. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another stack show here today with myself, Mr. Marceau. Brother, what's going on? I am doing well. Had a bit of a snafu there as we went to live there for a second. You got a sneak of the background. I had the overlay of the intro there. Not you necessarily, Mr. Marceau, but for those watching live, you could see us before the intro played. That was a snafu on my part. But beyond that, though, we got a lot here to talk about. I'll get to the chat in a second. But Lex Luger being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Roman Reigns returning on Raw. Some thoughts on Roadblock and Revolution from this past week. And a whole lot more going on in the world of wrestling, including a rumor that we might be getting an Evolution too, Mr. Marceau. A lot of thoughts on that. That dropped soon after we recorded last week, so going to be talking about that a little bit later on as we go live here. If you are joining live, be sure to like the video. I would appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell button. I say it every single time. You can be notified every single time we go live here on the show. Every single Thursday. Hashtag on Tuesdays as well. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. All that stuff is greatly appreciated. Of course, all the audio versions of the show also available soon after the fact on WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, and all the usual podcast platforms. Before I go any further, though, I do got to shout out Mr. Marceau's shirt. He's wearing the Jey Uso main event Royal Rumble shirt after he won the Rumble. Mr. Marceau, take us through that purchase and what urged you to get that Jey Uso shirt. Yeah.
Go crazy.
Perfect. Well, let me say this, but as we get started here, I apologize. I had you muted by accident. So I was talking to myself for about 30 seconds. So thankfully, I just realized that now. But what I just asked Mr. Marceau was that he got his Jey Uso shirt, and you said it was the easiest $35 you've ever spent, right?
Easy money.
So you'll be using that to wipe up your tears when Jey Uso loses at WrestleMania?
Yeah, this sleeve right here feels pretty good on the eyes. So they did good on the sleeve. So if needed, I can lay a couple tears on them. When
Gunther beats him at WrestleMania to retain that World Heavyweight Championship. I think we should be good now. I had the snafus out of the way. I had Mr. Marceau muted. Better I realize that now than fucking 10 minutes from now when I talk to Mr. Marceau about all this shit. And only I can hear him and nobody else. So I think we are good now here on this stream. But let me pull up the chat here. Yeah, RJ is muted. Thank you, Alexis, for letting me know. I think we're good now. Richie also joining us at Sup Graham and everyone else in the chat. Richie, thanks for joining. It was great to see you. Nick here as well. Woke up and shows violence. Yeah, no, the music is, I enjoy the music choice. Johnny had sent in a whole bunch of chats before we went live here. I'm not seeing it on my end now, but he was asking a bunch of AEW stuff, asking where the hell is Private Party after losing the AEW World Tag Team titles a couple of weeks ago, about a month or so ago, to Hurt Syndicate. They haven't showed up on AEW television since. They're probably looking for a new job somewhere because they're probably not coming back to AEW television. And I love Private Party, but I think their days might be numbered in that company if the last month has been any indication. But Tyreek, I had mentioned this in chat. He had also asked this. He said, hey, RJ and GSM, if you guys had to choose, what would be your Love Ziggler nicknames? Any idea what the fuck he's talking about, Mr. Marceau?
I got nothing for you. I don't even have a guess. I want to sound like an idiot, so I'm going to say I don't know.
It must be before my time, before your time. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too old for this shit, this Love Ziggler thing. I know Dolph Ziggler, if that's what he's talking about, but Love Ziggler, I got no idea what he's talking about. Nick had said,
yeah, I got nothing. I did a quick Google search, got nothing.
It must have been a typo. Hopefully he resurfaces here and lets us know what the fuck he's talking about. Nick had said, Jay slander, I got to leave. Yeah, Mr. Marceau feels the same way. No Jay hate on my end. I'm just saying, imagine if Gunther were to beat, if he were to beat Jey Uso at WrestleMania, he would not be happy about that. We would have the person on the line here with me today, Mr. Marceau, would probably be more unhappy than literally everyone else watching WrestleMania in a couple of weeks. He would. You may never see him on here on the show again because we may never hear from Mr. Marceau again.
I'd be very upset, to say the least.
Well, hopefully he does not lose. Hopefully he does walk out new world heavyweight champion. Daniel had even said, I'm not feeling Usi. No, I'm feeling Usi. I'm just saying that there's always a chance. You can never put it past this company, regardless of who's in charge of these surprise outcomes. Hey, why win at a WrestleMania when you can win at a Backlash instead, right? Come on. Imagine.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
That would be awful. Richie had also asked, Graham, RJ, thoughts on AEW running Omega versus Okada at All In Texas? So, yeah, that's been teased back since World's End when Omega came back and Okada retained the Continental Championship. He's been champion ever since April of last year. I think that's the place to do it. Omega-Okada is one of the biggest matches that you can do. I know you're not the biggest Omega-Okada fan, Mr. Marceau, but obviously it's got to be a logical match to do at their biggest show of the year, right?
Yeah, it would seem so. I know they're doing a tournament, I believe, now for the face Omega at Dynasty. So, yep. I mean, I guess you could get there with him and Okada again. I mean, I haven't really been a fan of Okada's work so far in AEW. I mean, the whole, like, saying bitch thing doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of looking like the other Japanese guys, kind of just worn down in the ring. But like you said, it is still a money match for them, and it wouldn't shock me if you do it there.
Yeah, no, I think doing it on the biggest stage possible makes the most sense. I also, for the most part, have not been a big fan, specifically of the character work of Okada. When he goes in there has quality matches, that's great. But he needs to have bigger matches. Out there working with Brody King, who I very much enjoy, but that was an impromptu match kind of at the Revolution pay-per-view. Didn't really mean anything, predictable outcome. Getting back to working with the bigger stars like Omega, I feel like would make the most sense, and that would be a killer match. So, totally agree with you on that. Fernando also joining us saying, what's up? And Daniel said, wow, guys, love Ziggler. How do y'all not get that? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Daniel's also just repping us. He probably has no fucking... Yeah, no, he said JK. I don't know either. So we'll get back to the Tyreek resurfaces. Maybe the big question of the day will be answered in the sense of what the fuck this love Ziggler shit is. But let's backtrack a little bit, Mr. Marceau, to last week. Last Friday was announced the latest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025, joining Triple H, joining Michelle McCool, Lex Luger, going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Long time coming. Obviously a very worthy inductee. I don't know if they wanted to wait for a reason or for whatever reason, but I know his life was kind of in shambles for a while now. If you caught Dark Side of the Ring or really know anything about Lex Luger, the last 20 years have been a very much an up and down ride for Mr. Lex Luger, the whole Miss Elizabeth thing and kind of contributing to her death and whatnot. He's even shown accountability for that, among other reasons why he's kind of fallen off shortly after his career ended in the early 2000s. But now he's kind of been on the redemption path the last number of years, working with Diamond Dallas Page to kind of get his mobility back, which is great. And he's going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Obviously, like I said, a very worthy inductee. Mr. Marceau, your thoughts about Luger entering the Hall of Immortals over WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, definitely worthy. I mean, I think it was just once Vince was gone, he would get in. Obviously, he had that heat with Vince for leaving WWE, going to WCW, the whole Nitro thing, the first Nitro on against Raw. He shows up. I feel like Vince still had heat on that. Just was never going to induct him. And, of course, the first, full year that Vince is gone, he gets in. I mean, definitely worthy. It's kind of a shame it's took this long, but glad he's going to get in before, he passes. And they just bring him in after he passed away. So it's good to see his redemption. Obviously, the last 20 years has been bumpy. Like you said, the whole Dark Side of the Ring, Miss Elizabeth stuff, his health, just in general. So I was happy for him to see Cody be the one to tell him, and it was a touching moment.
Yeah, no, I thought the footage they showed was really cool. Cody surprising him with the Hall of Fame induction announcement when they showed that footage last week on SmackDown. You could see the full video on their social media page, but I thought that was really cool. And like you said, the fact that Vince was never going to induct him, and then one of the first full years that Vince is gone, they induct him, was pretty funny. So I'm glad he's going in now. Better late than never. And I think the key, like you said, is the fact that he's going in while he's still alive. You can't say the same for a lot of people, including 2 rumored inductees this year. And it's not Demolition. I don't know why they're not already in. I mean, I kind of know why they're not already in, but why they're not being inducted this year under the new Legends deal they just signed and whatnot. But it's going to be Earthquake and Typhoon, the natural disasters. And that has yet to be made official. That's just the rumor right now. And any thoughts on Typhoon and Earthquake? I don't know. I might have said, I don't know if I said Earthquake, but Earthquake and Typhoon going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, Mr. Marceau, if that is indeed the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's another noteworthy induction. I mean, they like you said, they both. I think isn't Typhoon still alive? I believe, right?
Yeah, Earthquake died.
Earthquake is
John
passed
Tenta.
away.
Yeah,
John Tenta passed away, but I'm pretty sure Typhoon's still alive. So I mean, yeah, I mean, they should be in already too. Like just like Demolition should already be in. I mean, there's a few teams from that like mid to early '90s that should be in already, or late '80s, and they're not. So I mean, I have no issue with them going in.
Yeah, no, I think it's they're a worthy inductee as well. I think Demolition should be, and while they're still around, John Tenta passed away 20 fucking years ago. So I don't really see. I mean, I know Typhoon's still around, but I don't know how old Fred Ottman is compared to Demolition. He's probably younger, I would think. He's also obviously the Shockmaster as well, which they would have to acknowledge if they go into the WWE Hall of Fame. That would be amazing. So, yeah, let's get Demolition in there. Fernando says, I totally agree. And Billy also joining us earlier said, afternoon, Graham and RJ. Doing well, Billy. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Great to see you in the chat. So, yeah, those are the updates in the WWE Hall of Fame. If you could round it out with like a celebrity inductee. Last year was Muhammad Ali and kind of association with the first WrestleMania. I am shocked that Cyndi Lauper isn't already in. I don't know if she doesn't want to go in or what the reason is. But if it's not Cyndi Lauper, someone along those lines, Mr. Marceau, who could you see being inducted in the remainder of the class for the Hall of Fame in 2025?
I thought Cyndi Lauper is already in, so you're saying that she's not. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Celebrities. That's a good one. I mean, the problem is like a lot of them haven't really done like a ton to like even make it like the deserving. Especially like the last 10 to 15 years. I can't really think of anyone on the top of my head. I mean, honestly, maybe Snooki. I mean, besides that, I can't think of anyone else on the top of my head. I know you're a big fan of her match at WrestleMania 27, so figured why not.
Her great match with Lakewell, and maybe her and Trish Stratus can run it back. They were on the same team for that Mania, right?
Yeah, I think get her in.
Hey, why not get Hugh Jackman? I think would be if you're going to induct Snooki, get Hugh Jackman in there. Get God, I don't know. Yeah, Cindy's not in, Daniel. I don't know.
Travis Scott at this point. I don't know. Like who else in the last like 20 years can you even think of? I can't even think of anyone in the last 10 years. I would be like they should be in. That's a celebrity.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, but
a little early for that.
Out of anyone that I can think of, he's probably the most worthy, I guess.
Bad Bunny. Who was the other one? I think Bad Bunny was who I was thinking of. But then also, I would probably say, who was the guy that cost Seth Rollins, or rather John Cena at SummerSlam? John Stewart.
Stewart.
For that run-in alone. I'm surprised John Stewart's not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
They just need to stop doing celebrities that don't deserve it, if you want me to be 100% honest. But, I mean, like, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Millennial Noob also joining us. Noob, what's going on? He says, good morning, Graham and RJ. How are you doing today? We are doing well. Mr. Marceau sporting his Jey Uso shirt. He's eating all over the place. We are doing well. Billy said Limp Bizkit. I was thinking Limp Bizkit. How about Limp Bizkit?
Limp Bizkit's not bad. I mean, yeah, he's performed a few times. He did the Rollin' at WrestleMania 19. I mean, but like I said, but that's all they did. Like,
yeah.
I mean, at least with Bad Bunny, he at least wrestled a few matches. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the whole celebrity thing, I think they can kind of move on from. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, no.
I don't stop with the Veer stuff. Can we stop with the Veer stuff, please?
I was waiting for you to react to that. Get Veer in the Hall of Fame, and what about Jim Johnston is not in. What about Ava? Ava should be in the Hall of Fame too.
I think Ava should be in over Veer.
Those are sacrilegious words, Mr. Marceau.
He's done more as GM than he ever did as a wrestler.
I mean, no lies detected, but he should have been WWE champion. I'll die on that L. How did that WrestleMania? We know how the WrestleMania 17 theme went with My Way or the Highway. How did the WrestleMania 19 theme go, Mr. Marceau?
The theme,
yeah.
Or like when he came out?
Well, the song that he sang for Taker.
Yeah, it's rolling, 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 rolling. Yeah, keep rolling. That's the song.
Yeah, the Rollins song, where they did the Mania 19 theme well.
That's Crack Addict.
Yeah, how did Crack Addict go?
I'm trying to think I'm trying to think how that goes. Like, he yells, it's like, back down.
Yeah, that was something like that.
Top of my head, but it's a great song, but
I was hoping you knew it by heart. It was Mama Motherfucking Crack Addict or whatever it is.
Let's rock this. I don't even know. Like I said, it's a great song. I wish you didn't put me on the spot because I could have probably listened to it and then got it in my head. But
Yeah.
no, it's a good song.
I should have thought about it beforehand. God, the chat's now. Okay, we're now completely off the rails here. They could play the credits as she does her speech. Yeah, exactly. Jeremy Piven, Summersfest. I mean, he was the old Raw guest host. Get him in the Hall of Fame. Mike Adamle was fucking awesome. I love Mike Adamle. Get him in the Hall of Fame. Lawrence Taylor, I don't know if he's ever going in because I think he had something against him, like that, like the allegation of talking to like someone that was underage or something like that. I don't know if it was like a rape allegation or something else, but I would assume that's probably, I know exactly. That's probably why he's not in the Hall of Fame, I would think, right? I mean, he was involved in a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, I think he's known for dabbling in the Colombian snorting powder, so maybe that as well. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he probably has some domestic incidents. I mean, why else would he not be in?
Yeah, that would have to be the reason why. Otherwise, why would he not be in? I mean, also, Bam Bam Bigelow is also not in the Hall of Fame, which makes no sense. He also main evented that Mania. He should have been a long time ago, but not sure why he's not already in. Nick makes a good point. Maybe Dwayne and The Rock can go in separately. Dwayne can go in as a celebrity, and then The Rock can go in as a wrestler. Maybe even the same year, he comes out as The Rock and then comes out as Dwayne. I mean, I don't see why not.
He just pivots, and it's the next one.
It's the pivot. There you go. That was the word of the day again. Pivot. And then Daniel said, Mr. Marceau, you should know all about this. He said, Build a Bridge for Survivor Series 03 was a banger by Limp. You love Survivor Series 03. That happened on your, 10th birthday, right?
Build a Bridge? I would have to hear the song to think of it.
I'm surprised that you don't know the Survivor Series 03 theme song. That's like one of your favorite
I
shows.
have the 2002 one stuck in my head now.
Always, always.
Yeah, exactly. The boot chicken in my head.
The pistol shaking in my hand.
Oh, God.
I love you. Where was that? We needed that Elimination Chamber video package for Chamber this year. Just the song,
We did.
no commentary over it, just a video package of all just 6 guys beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That would have been amazing. So, transitioning now to Raw on Monday night, live from Madison Square Garden, overall a good show. Newsworthy solely for the main event, really. We had CM Punk battling Seth Rollins in a great cage match. Very, very good cage match. Roman Reigns returns afterward to lay out both men. Not even afterward, actually. He actually returned during the actual match, costing Punk the win, allowing Seth Rollins to go over, attacking him. He didn't do that on purpose, but he attacked Rollins, dragged him out of the cage, lays him out with multiple Superman punches and spears, and even a curb stomp on the outside, which was fucking awesome. Then gets inside of the cage when he spots Seth Rollins, or rather CM Punk, being embraced by Paul Heyman, lays out both Punk, or just specifically Punk, didn't lay out Heyman, into the cage, both sides of the cage, and then stands tall to close the show. So we'll get to the rest of Raw in a moment, other highlights from the show itself. But that ending was great. Like I said, the cage match was excellent. The Roman Reigns return, which we probably expected would happen, but a very good moment. Now seemingly setting up the aforementioned triple threat match that we've talked a lot about in recent weeks for WrestleMania, with seemingly nothing on the line, which we'll get to. But your thoughts on the ending of Raw, Mr. Marceau, and how hot it was, or maybe not so hot for you?
No, I thought the way that they shot it and the way it came off was amazing. I mean, Rollins falling down with the cage open and Roman just basically just choking, pulling him out, and then Rollins winning. So then you're like, oh shit, Rollins won, and then him just destroying both of them. I mean, I thought overall it was done really well. So I think that was my positive. I feel like people kind of came off with that as well. Like it came off a lot better than maybe that we anticipated it was going to be. But overall, I thought it was done well. And then, I mean, just how over Roman is. I mean, just people going bananas for him. I mean, he's clearly the top guy, regardless if he has got the belt or not. I mean, he gets that. He has the aura, and just people just gravitate to him. And I know people are mad that it's not for anything or it's a triple threat and vice versa. But I mean, he is the biggest star, so anything with him in it, it's gotta be must say.
I mean, you don't really necessarily have to turn any of the 3 guys, right? I feel like their hatred for each other kind of sells the match. I mean, you could kind of lean Rollins toward heelish because he cost Punk the win at Elimination Chamber. Then Punk lost here due to Roman Reigns. Do you really have to turn anyone? And if you do turn someone, does it happen at WrestleMania itself?
I don't think you have to turn anyone. I mean, I feel like Rollins is not a heel, but he's closer to heel than the other 2 are. So, I mean, I don't think you need to turn any of them.
No, I mean, you could do a scenario where I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of heat between Roman and Punk. So you could do a scenario where maybe Heyman is the favor that he ultimately aligns with CM Punk. Do you think we find out what the favor is before Mania? Like, people have said, oh, Heyman uses the favor that, that he owes Punk or whatever to get them the WrestleMania main event. I mean, I'm sorry, that's kind of fucking lame to me. I mean, if it closes Mania, that's not lame. But the idea of the favor being that it is the main event, it might be the main event anyway. So to say that Heyman used it, like, that's just stupid to me. I hope that's not what it is. But do you see this match closing the show if there's nothing on the line as of right now? Is it the main event?
I guess technically it could be the first night. I mean, the second night will easily be Cody and Cena, I would assume.
That, yeah. Sorry, Gunther and Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gunther and Jay, I feel like Gunther and Jay just kick the show off.
Yeah.
And then you end with this. I mean, like I said, it's Roman. I mean, I think you'd make the most sense to end with that. So, yeah, I would say that it main event's night one.
It is funny. This might be the first year. I might have to really think about it, but this might be the first year in a very long time where the Royal Rumble winners are probably not main eventing WrestleMania. We know Tiffany and Charlotte, that feud so far has been kind of eh. I'm looking forward to the match, but that is absolutely not main eventing Mania. And then Jey Uso and Gunther is just overshadowed by Cena and Cody, and then this triple threat match, and even the other Women's World Championship match, which is probably also going to be a triple threat. I mean, if you had the pencil, Mr. Marceau, what do you have closed the show? This triple threat or the other women's triple threat with Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship?
Roman, Rollins, and Punk. I mean,
even without anything on the line.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like the bigger marquee match to me. I agree with Fernando. He had mentioned, well, earlier on, he said, how is the First Lady, Miss Elizabeth, not inducted? Even though I know Macho Man's been in for like a decade now. I don't know. Maybe that might be her estate. I'm not exactly sure. Hopefully she gets in at some point. But I'll go back to their chats in a moment. But Fernando had said, I think Heyman is turning on Roman for Seth. I was thinking about that because we're talking about Roman and Punk and where does Heyman's allegiance lie and whatnot. Is there the possibility, RJ, that we could see Heyman end up with Seth Rollins? Like with the Shield split where everyone thought, okay, could Roman go heel? Could Ambrose go heel? And it ended up being Rollins instead.
It could be. I mean, I don't know if I really want to see that, but I mean, I guess it's a swerve that you could go with. I think Punk, I'd rather him go back with Punk. I mean, Rollins, really, I don't know. I don't really like that. So I would stick away from that.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be an interesting swerve. I don't know it's something that necessarily needs to happen, but it would be definitely cool to see for sure. And then Daniel had also said, nice of Roman to stop using his PTO and show up for work for once. Yeah, I mean, at least we kind of expected this. We may not see him again until WrestleMania, but at least Roman Reigns did show up to work this week. So obviously he'll be on before then, but I joke. And then Richie had also said, Punk, Rollins, and Roman, the triple threat sells itself. The history from the Shield days and the current events is enough to get me to watch it. So many layers of story between those three. This really feels like it is like the main attraction with Cody and Cena kind of leading the charge. But this feels like the second biggest match on any of the proposed matches or now official matches for WrestleMania, even without like a potential title shot being at stake.
I mean, it doesn't overly surprise me. I mean, I know when it was originally discussed, people were against it. But I mean, like I said, I think with the storytelling, Roman is, I mean, like I said, he is the guy. So anything he's in, it's going to mean more than anything else. Punk's been big, obviously, and then Rollins. So there's a story there. Played out on Monday, and we'll get more within the next month. But like I said, I think easily should main event night one.
Yeah.
I like Jay a lot. I like Io a lot, but I mean, I don't think those should main event over the triple threat. I mean, you have three of the top guys in the company. You're gonna put Io, Rhea, and Bianca over them. I mean, I don't see that. I don't see it happening, and nor should it.
Should it add to this story, though? So Rollins cost Punk the chamber win at Elimination Chamber. The whole idea was not only did he cost him the championship opportunity at Mania, but he also cost him the opportunity to headline WrestleMania, which is what Punk has always wanted to do. So do you think it adds to the story if this match doesn't main event WrestleMania? So Punk, because it's like he lost the chamber, but then he gets the main event anyway. I mean, is that big of a deal, or could you see that adding to the story if it doesn't close out the show?
I guess my thing is, if that doesn't close out, what else would?
Well, I mean, Fernando said maybe Rhea, Bianca, and Io.
But why? They, if anything, you do Gunther and Jay. At least they he won the Rumble, so that's supposed to main event. Like Bianca won the Chamber, and Rhea's just being dragged along. I mean, I don't think that should main event. If anything, even Tiffany and Charlotte, like if you're gonna say that the main event WrestleMania, those two should get a shot over the triple threat. I mean, I like Rhea, Bianca, and Io a lot, but I mean, I would put the other triple threat above them, and Jay and Gunther above them.
Well, Millennial Noob said Gunther and Jey Uso, as well as Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton, are borderline terrible builds to WrestleMania 41. What's your instant reaction to that? True or false?
I mean, I'm there with Flair and Stratton, but I mean, I don't really. I think Gunther and Jay's been fine. I mean, I don't know what people are expecting more out of.
I mean, to be fair, with the build, though, we did say after he won the Royal Rumble, after Jey Uso won the Rumble, I was saying that Jey Uso really has to step up as far as the main eventer. Not that he hasn't, but there just hasn't been that many more layers to the feud than what we've been seeing so far. I would like to see an additional layer of character development or making this more intense than what we're seeing right now. Right now, it's a lot of back and forth. Gunther lays him out. Jey Uso lays him out. I would think that we would need to see like more like serious mic work from the two of them. And we have a month to go. It's not too late.
No, I was gonna say, we still got plenty of time, people. I mean, you're a month away. I mean, you're also building these stories for 3 months. I don't know what you're expecting there. Like it's been, I honestly, this is one of my biggest pet peeves when people just like the build is terrible. Like, what do you want? Like, you want them to give it?
Too strong of a word.
It's been 3. It's been 2. They won the Rumble on February 1st. It's gonna be 2.5 months. Like, what do you want them to do for 2.5 months? I mean, I don't know what else you really want it to be. I mean,
what we've been getting so far.
It is what it is. I don't know what do you expect. Like, what do you want? Like, that's what I guess my question is. What do you want it to be?
Yeah. That's true. I mean, if they can heat it up, I mean, I wouldn't say it's been terrible. It's been perfectly fine. I think what you said is what is accurate. I think it's been totally fine so far. I think they can improve it, though, in the coming weeks by adding more fuel to the fire, however that might be. I think Jey Uso, like, beating A-Town Down Under, Gunther beating Alpha Academy. I know they're filler matches on purpose, but, like, who really gives a shit? But if they can, add some more fuel to the fire there and Jey Uso gets more serious and whatnot, I think it could work. But so far, what we're getting is fine, though, is what you're saying.
I think so. I mean, I see people, like I said, people complain like, "Oh, you keep saying everyone's doubting him. What else you want him to say?" Like, that's the thing. It's like, what else you want him to say?
Yeah, but they need to be careful not to get too repetitive with the feud before it's too late. I will say that.
I mean, I think we're kind of halfway there, but yeah.
Swerve1 also joining us. Great to see you in the chat, Swerve. Swerve, I actually met over Royal Rumble weekend. Great dude. I'll be seeing him in Vegas over Mania weekend as well. But he had chatted in saying Roman and Punk tomorrow night on SmackDown is going to add so much more to this story too. Both triple threats should main event each night. So the Roman and Punk thing, I don't know if Roman's showing up to work tomorrow. Do you expect Roman Reigns to be on SmackDown tomorrow night? They're not advertising him. It's probably going to be like the left. I know we're getting Miss TV. We're getting Miss TV tomorrow night. I know that.
No, I mean, I don't think we'll get Roman on SmackDown now.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But it would be cool. I'm looking forward to that next interaction between Punk and Roman, though. He's saying both triple threats should main event each night. The men's one, yes. But Cody and Punk, we know is main eventing. I mean, not Cody and Punk, I'm sorry. Cody and Cena, we know is main eventing night, too. That's just a given. It has to.
I mean, probably the dumbest thing ever if it didn't.
That's actually opening.
Why wouldn't it main event? I don't get why it wouldn't main event night too.
No, it has to main event night too. Daniel had said Punk is my guy, and as much as I want him to finally get that Mania main event, I would actually be annoyed if the triple threat goes on last with it not having any real stakes. Listen, we were just talking about this, but the thing is, it's the biggest match you can possibly do. I mean, it's Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. The women's match is excellent, but I'm just thinking, as well as Mr. Marceau here, from a business standpoint, you have that match go on last. I mean, yeah, you're right. There is nothing on the line. And I don't want to see a scenario where the winner gets a title shot or like the next fucking night or something. That's just stupid. We don't need any more double duty bullshit. We had that last year. We don't need that again. Someone had said, maybe at the next pay-per-view they can get a title shot. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't really want it made more. Because I could see Roman Reigns winning, but will Roman Reigns really be around after WrestleMania? Probably not. I feel like it would make it obvious that he's not winning. Because as of right now, it really is unpredictable. Like, do you have a clear-cut winner in your head for who could win that men's triple threat match? Because I don't.
I think any one of them could win. I think they all have a stake that they could win. Like I said, maybe it's not the next month, but maybe down the line. Winner gets the title match at SummerSlam, something like that. Maybe that's the favor, and Rollins just kind of sneaks into it. I'm not quite sure exactly how you get there, but I think literally at this point I could see Rollins, Punk, or Roman winning. I don't think it's obvious any of them winning or any of them losing.
Yeah.
I think that's what's also probably the biggest intrigue. Like I said, that you could put that in the main event. It's not like you're like, oh, Punk's easily winning. Here we go. We know he's going to win, or Roman, or vice versa. I think all three guys have a 33% chance to win, like any normal triple threat should be.
Yeah, no, it's not predictable in the slightest. Whereas with the women's one, I like that they're doing it because it gets Io Sky on the card. It does spare Mr. Marceau a rant, right?
It does, yes, but she'll be eating the mat 1, 2, 3.
At least she's on the card and not wrestling for the tag titles, right?
No, that's the positive.
Yeah,
I guess
definitely a positive. I mean, Nathaniel, I did answer your question earlier by just saying what I did to Mr. Marceau, but he asked, would you guys like the winner of Punk, Seth, and Roman to be added to the main event of night 2? Absolutely not. I mean, you spend an entire month and a half building towards Cody and Cena. Why in a third person? Like, it would have to be Punk. I mean, Rollins being added, I guess, would kind of make sense, but he and Cody haven't really interacted since before the Rumble, I don't think. And then Roman being added would just be fucking terrible. That would be awful. So we don't need Roman in the main event again for 2 consecutive nights. No thanks. So I don't like that idea personally. But yeah, make me believe that these two hate each other. I agree, Richie. As far as Gunther and Jay is concerned, I believe he's talking about. He also said, I would love to see the women, specifically Rhea Bianca, and Io main event night 1. That title bout was going to be more interesting in Tiffany and Charlotte and Jay and Gunther. I mean, so far the build has been more interesting for that women's triple threat than the other 2 feuds. I agree, and the match will probably be better as well. Yeah, I mean, like Swerve said, we mentioned that before, but like winner of the men's gets number 1 contender. Maybe for after Mania, it shouldn't be at Mania itself. I just don't really think that works. And then Fernando said Rock versus Hogan went on before Jericho versus Triple H at Mania 18. So you're saying that they should put like the women or like another, like to have the men. I mean, I know what you're saying, Fernando, but then you're just self-sabotaging yourself. They should not make that same mistake again. They made that mistake at WrestleMania 25, and it led to one of the most forgettable main events of all time between Triple H and Randy Orton. That would be terrible. So no thanks. Then Daniel bringing up, the Jay Goon build, the Gunther build has been way too repetitive. Yeah, I mean, it's been a little repetitive. But, I mean, I think it's nothing that they can't, improve upon. And Fernando agrees with Mr. Marceau as far as why that match should go on last, I believe. So, anyway, I'm looking forward to that match. I think the triple threat will be great. Tyreek said, Seth pinning Roman in another Mania triple threat? Question mark. Do you think so? WrestleMania 31 all over again?
It's possible. Heist of the century again.
Yeah, hey, it's possible.
10 years later, Heist of the century, round 2.
Oh, still probably my favorite ending in WrestleMania history aside from last year.
It's up there.
I watched that with Mr. Marceau in his college dorm 10 years ago. Incredible. Makes me feel old, but it's true. Great Mania ending. But listen, on Raw this week, we had Roman Reigns return. And that was not that was like the big talking point from that show. But we did say last week, we figured Roman Reigns would be back. But we also said that if Roman Reigns was back, that we would hope to see Becky Lynch back as well. She wasn't. We haven't talked about this over text, Mr. Marceau, but I want to get your thoughts. No Becky Lynch on the road to WrestleMania? Is she not? I was convinced that she was coming back. I thought she was coming back, but I guess she's not. Unless she comes back with like a month left to go till Mania, which does not look likely at this point.
I'm lost of words. I guess not. I highly doubt within the next week. I doubt she's coming back on the European tour. Are they in Dublin? I highly doubt it. But like, I feel like it was set up perfectly, and then no return here. So I guess we'll just get Lyra. Let me check my notes. Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania. You can hear the excitement coming out of my voice. I can't wait. It's going to be a great one-on-one bout. I don't know what they're doing. I just don't. I just don't understand why Raquel won. She's already a tag team champion to begin with.
And Roxanne did not interfere either, which also surprised me.
No interference. I don't know. Unless like they're gonna do, unless she faces Lyra and then Bayley gets involved. I guess my question is like, where does that go? So like, unless they're gonna turn Roxanne babyface and she's gonna join Bayley to face Liv and Raquel, I don't really.
Oh God,
like, who's gonna team with Bayley? Because like clearly like that's the direction they're going in, but like, who teams with Bayley at that point?
We were so close to Bayley versus Roxanne. Why would you move away from that?
The pivot. I don't know. Why else would I know it? That's why I seemingly thought. So I'm like, oh, Raquel. But then Raquel just beat her with Judgment Day interference. So I'm like, okay, well, she's going to face Lyra. Bayley will cost her the win against Lyra. So Lyra will beat Raquel. But then it's like, who teams with Bayley to face Raquel and Liv? Seemingly, because that's what I would assume that's where it's going. But I mean, Roxanne's the only one that, like, not that it makes sense, but like at least there's a connection there. But like, why would you then turn her babyface? I don't know. I don't know if like they want to turn her back face to be on the main roster. I have fucking no idea.
But yeah, I agree with that. Like that's almost logical, but it's at the same time it doesn't make sense because they've established that she's a heel in the last couple of appearances that she's made on Raw and on SmackDown, at Chamber, at Rumble. To then turn her babyface would make absolutely no sense. I feel like that'd be so fucking stupid.
So then who teams with Bayley then?
They might be moving on from Bayley versus Judgment Day. That might have been a one-off match for Monday. I mean, they probably realized the crowd was sitting on their hands. Richie said, first of all, Raquel Rodriguez versus Ava Raine. Fucking shoot me, no thanks. But I mean,
Ava. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ava Raine. But he was in the building for that show. You could hear crickets during Bayley and Raquel, and it's sad because I think Bayley is great. Raquel's good. I like Raquel too, but no one really gave a shit. Westway Farm, Western Cape had said,
what's up with this? This is going to get me pissed right here. What's that?
I truly believe Triple H has a soft spot for Lyra.
What does that mean?
That he's kind of, booking her as champion because he's got a soft spot for her. He's biased towards her from, NXT and whatnot.
He wasn't even in charge of NXT when she was there.
Still got a soft spot. What
I mean, I think Lyra, is that like saying like Lyra sucks? I guess my question is like, what does that mean?
Well,
I think Lyra's great.
I will say, Lyra's great. I think if he had such a soft spot, which is true, if he had such a soft spot for Lyra, then she would be booked better in the main roster because she's not.
I mean, I would say so. I mean, she's been in more video packages than matches since she's won championships, or she's like not doing anything. So, I mean, I think she's great. I assume they do like her a lot, but I mean, they really haven't booked her great. I mean, yeah, she's champion and she's won a handful of matches. I mean, the last 2 weeks she beat Dakota and then Ivy. So I guess that's something, but I don't even think she was on the show this week unless I missed her on the side of a milk carton. But besides that, I didn't see her this week. So, but yeah, I mean, I like Lyra and hopefully they figure it out, but I don't know. She might be sitting and catering at Allegiant Stadium on April 19th.
Yeah, she's definitely not making the card now. If Becky Lynch is not back, Lyra is definitely not making the WrestleMania card. I mean, her and Raquel is not even pre-show worthy. I mean, the match should be fine. Don't get me wrong. I like both women, but that doesn't even really sound interesting for the pre-show, so I doubt that even makes the card. We'd be lucky if Chelsea Green makes the card with the Women's United States Championship. But at this point, she eats more pins than Lyra does, so it's hard to care currently because hopefully
she won on Friday.
Well, she did win on Friday, but she lost the Tuesday before that to Sol Ruca in a tag team match.
No one even saw it.
Nick said in the chat, these are fighting words, Lyra, a.k.a. Bird Feather Lady, is boring.
Wait, who said that?
Nick.
Boring? What the fuck?
What do you say to Lyra being boring? He's shaking his head.
That's blasphemous. I mean,
that's slander.
That's like, send me your address and we're going to duke it out. Bird Lady is boring.
I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of it falls on the booking.
Yeah, I mean, they said she really hasn't done much since being on the main roster. I mean, she came up, didn't really do much, did the tournament, won, has been in the crowd, did one VTR, in the crowd again, beat Dakota Kai, then beat someone that's not over. Haven't seen her since.
Yep.
I mean, can't really help. I mean, I get like maybe her aura or whatever people call it, the aura.
Yep.
Isn't like a lot of like, I mean, it's a little bit different, but I mean, I guess if you put them side by side, I would say Roxanne has more aura, whatever that. I mean, I don't.
That's what the kids say nowadays. Yeah,
that's what kids say. I know. I'm older now. I'm in my early 30s. I don't really use those terminology. I know the kids love that term. So, I mean, I'm looking at aura alone. Yeah, maybe she doesn't have the biggest aura, but I I mean, I think she's a good wrestler. I think she has a different look than most people, and I mean, I like her. So
Yeah,
I
no,
guess
I
that's
mean,
me.
I think it's she doesn't have the same aura that these other women do, and she doesn't eat on the promos. I think that's what the kids would say. She didn't gag on the promos, or I mean, actually, that
No,
sounds wrong.
devour. No, they eat. You gotta eat. You
Eat,
ate. Like if
eat.
you did something good, you ate.
You
Like
ate, yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
devoured. You didn't gag. That's just
No,
something. That's a totally different
there is
thing.
something to be, gag is definitely a thing.
Gags like if you did bad, I assume.
Oh, I'm so gagged. Maybe the chat can enlighten me. I don't know. That promo was so
But
great.
I
I'm
mean,
gagged. I'm speechless. I think that's what gag means. I'm pretty sure that's what
sure.
that means.
I think you should just stop saying gag. It's getting out of hand. Already. But I mean, no, I like Lyra. I mean, like I said, if you're looking at pure superstar base, I mean, I think Roxanne probably like has that a little bit more than her. But just like even like Alba Fire, like I think she's now with Chelsea Green. She's on TV. She's out of catering. So we'll see where we go there. But I mean, the fact that that's someone I feel like they fumbled, and hopefully they can finally figure it out. I mean, she was great as NXT Women's UK Champion. They changed her name, her whole gimmick, whatever, and hopefully they can get back to that. And I mean, that's like booking malpractice. But I guess that's another rant for another day.
I was glad at least she's on TV. She didn't get fired like her partner did, right?
Yes. Dude, what the Love Ziggler thing? I don't get it.
Well, I'll go to that in a second. Millennial Noob said earlier on, I'll go to that in one moment. Millennial Noob said the original plan was to have Asuka and Kairi Sane face Liv and Raquel for the women's tag titles at Mania. I could see that. I mean, I could see. I thought it would be Io Sky. I said that to Mr. Marceau, and thank God they're not doing that. But I mean, why would it be Asuka and Kairi, not Dakota Kai? Why would Dakota Kai not make the card, but Kairi Sane, who has barely been on television, would, or Asuka, who has not been on the show in a year? Dakota Kai would have to be involved in that match. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be Dakota and Kyrie versus them two, I'd assume.
And they could still do that, but to build it up at this point, it's like, I don't know, feels not too late, but like, I don't know. That would make the
what's this? Alexis, I kind of feel bad when she comes out like clap to make her feel better. What does that mean? Like she gets a reaction. I don't.
Yeah,
woo! Exactly. So what are you saying?
These are just blasphemous. Like, what is
I'm
this?
say, Alexis, I might have to text you on the side. You're getting me a little heated over here.
Yeah, where's Tyreek to make sense of this Love Ziggler bullshit? We still have not figured out what the fuck Love Ziggler means. Daniel even said, like, every time she does, am I missing something here? I think he's talking. Is he talking about the back thing that Raquel used to do? Thank God she stopped doing that. That was terrible. I don't know what the Love Ziggler shit means. Nick said Lyra is just holding that belt for Becky. 100% is because of the booking. I mean, could she be just keeping the belt warm for Becky? That I agree with.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't surprise me. I mean, but is she coming back? Who knows? We haven't seen her.
It's a favor to Becky, Fernando said.
It could be, but we haven't seen. I mean, we haven't seen Becky at all. So, I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Right? I don't know. We haven't seen her at all. We haven't even seen rumors she's coming back. I mean, it's more fan speculation than anything else. I mean,
Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure when she's going to be back. I thought it would be before Mania. I literally said a couple weeks ago I would be shocked if it wasn't before Mania, and apparently they just don't have a good enough plan for her, and they realized, hey, maybe Becky said, listen, that belt means nothing right now. That doesn't work for me, sister. I'm not coming back until after Mania. Some more chats on Lyra. Nick did admit, Nick said, I do like her. I just wanted to get a raise out of you guys. I think she just needs to start getting booked with the bigger stars. So, Nick, first of all, mission accomplished. She definitely did get a raise out of us. And second of all, I do agree that she has to be booked with the bigger stars. And let me check my notes, not Ivy Nile.
No, yeah, I mean,
I like Ivy, but they've given no effort towards getting her over. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think it just needs a little bit better booking. I think the booking's been shoddy since she's been called up, and yeah.
Definitely, yeah. No, the booking has definitely been shoddy. Love Ziggler for Hall of Fame, headliner, no doubt. Daniel says.
I don't know what that means.
Fernando says also Love Ziggler rules. LOL. I agree. I also don't know what it means. So I'm also in the dark here. Westway Farm did say, honestly speaking, Lyra, 0 personality and 0 charisma. She's like 90% of the wrestlers. They are just an entrance, but when the bell rings, people lose interest. Loose interest is what he said. He's nodding his head. Do you agree with that?
No, I mean, 0%. I mean, they don't give her any mic time. like you said, they really haven't done anything to build her at all. I mean, I don't agree with that. I honestly don't agree with that at all. But
no, I don't agree with that. I think it's a little harsh.
Zero personality. I mean, like I said, they haven't given her any time. Have you seen her in NXT? I thought she was great as NXT champion. She talked a little bit more. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you're basing on her main roster booking, I guess you could maybe have some credence there. But I mean, I think zero charisma and personality it's a bit far. I mean, I've seen Alexa say Ivy Nile has zero charisma.
That's true.
I mean, that's not 100% wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I think a lot of these women that aren't over or like haven't booked great. I mean, they're just another person at the end of the day. I mean, you're dying for some reason. I don't know what you're laughing at.
I gotta stop looking at this Love Ziggler thing. I just don't understand.
My thing is, I just don't know what it means, so I'm not even. I'm not even paying attention to it. So I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But I agree with what you said about Lyra. But I will say this: as far as I'm gonna push back on one thing that Westway Forum had said. When her matches start, people lose interest. I don't really think that's necessarily true. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like people at the beginning of her matches don't really care that much. And then, I'm sorry. And then by the end of her matches, people get into her matches because they're good. Like, she's a good wrestler. I feel like that's...
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, like, especially her and Dakota, I think both those matches, like, going in, like, people weren't, like, going crazy. But by the end of the match, I feel like people were in on the near falls and kind of getting into it. I mean, like I said, the better the booking, I mean, I think especially someone like her, I think if Becky did come back, I think that would help her out a lot more than her facing Niall and Dakota Kai, who aren't over, unfortunately. No. But like, you put her against someone like Becky, and like I said, either put her over and just a good performance, I think you would start getting her over. Like I said, I think obviously she's not as over. Her personality's not the same as Roxanne. Like I said, I think when Roxanne comes out, I feel like she gets a reaction, but she's a heel, so I feel like you're going to probably get a little bit more out of her.
Yeah.
The baby faces, if there's no character work there, you're going to get probably nothing because we've seen it from majority of the roster.
Yeah, no, it's stuff that they still need to work on. I think they have the talent up there. We've talked about it before. I feel like they really need to improve with allowing these women to show more personality because I feel like they do have the personality. We just don't really hear from them all that much, or they're not really involved in meaningful storylines. Exchanging wins and just attacking each other doesn't really, to me, constitute as a storyline. They definitely need to improve on that wing, on that front quite a bit. So hopefully we can see more of that on the road to WrestleMania. If not, probably not on the road to WrestleMania, honestly, because all their effort's going to be into other stuff and the main women's storylines and whatnot. But coming out of WrestleMania, hopefully we could see more of that. But listen, if we're not getting Becky and Lyra at WrestleMania, what about the idea of Becky and Lyra at Evolution 2? That was rumored this past week, Evolution 2, potentially coming to Connecticut, which is cool. Mohegan Sun Arena. Great arena. Love the they have what's it called? Ben and Jerry's there. Fantastic. I'm not a gambler. I don't go to the slots, but I'll go to Ben and Jerry's and Johnny Rockets.
My favorite's the way that you see Ben and Jerry's, you act like it's like a local like ice cream shop, not like a franchise. like they have a great restaurant. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's
the little place. It's a mom and pop shop called Ben and Jerry's.
Like they like make the ice cream fresh every day. I don't know if you heard of Ben and Jerry's, but yeah, I haven't really seen much of the rumor of Evolution 2. I feel like I know you mentioned it before, and like I've maybe heard a couple crackles, but like when it's supposed to be, or like the thought of when it's going to be, or any idea on that? Or
I think it's kind of specific because I think it was announced for WWE didn't announce it, but the report from I think it was bodyslam.net actually, to give them credit. But I think the report had come up that it was specifically, tentatively scheduled for July 5th, which is a Saturday. It was very specific. They said Saturday, July 5th at Mohegan Sun Arena, Connecticut for a pay-per-view, and it would be Evolution, which only fits around 10,000 people. They're not filling a stadium, so they're probably doing it small again. The first Evolution show is a smaller show, and we've talked about it before, I think, here on the show. I've definitely talked about it on hashtag. I feel like the window to do an Evolution 2, not had passed, but like if they were going to do one, why wouldn't they have done one 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last year? To me, they only did one in the first place for two reasons. One, they had Ronda Rousey on the roster, and she was their golden goose there for that year, the first year that she was there. And the second reason being that I think the following weekend, right after Evolution, was when they went to Saudi Arabia for like the second time, and women weren't allowed on the shows at that point. So they wanted like a make good to give them their own show. And I think it was a lot better than even they were expecting. and it turned out to be a really fun show and kind of like a novelty. And I think, honestly, if you do Evolution 2 now, I think it works even better because your women's roster today is even better than it was 7 years ago, which to think it was 7 years ago is crazy. But I think Evolution 2 could work if you have Becky and Lyra, maybe Charlotte and Tiffany in a rematch, if they continue feuding by July. I think you could do an Evolution 2, and I think it would work.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you just need to buff up. So, like I said, you got to definitely buff up Lyra, Chelsea, whoever's holding those 2 belts specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the top, I feel it's like you're kind of like a top class and a lower class. There really isn't anyone in the middle right now. I guess you would say your 2 the mid-card champions are kind of in the middle right now. But,
yeah,
I mean, I just don't think their bookings, either of them's really been that great. And, I mean, I think with Chelsea, I don't know. I just don't think I mean, I've seen her in Meechin like 17 times. I don't need to see it again. I'm hoping they kind of get away from that. But, I mean, with Lyra, I think you're kind of in the same boat. Like her, Dakota, Ivy Nile. Just like I said, got to kind of face someone that's established at least, or like kind of like get you a little bit more over. But I think the top tier, there's plenty of good women. It's kind of like the middle class. They're kind of falling under. But like I said, I mean, if Lyra holds the belt for a little bit, maybe she dropped to something like Liv. I mean, kind of prop it up or something like that, like vice versa. Same with SmackDown. But no, I think they have the talent. They just need to buff up the lower middle class of the women's division and make them more over and more must-see.
I think they could bring in some older women too. When I say older women, I'm not saying old women. I'm saying like, women that are not around currently to kind of, work with these younger talents and help get them over for a show like that. They did that for the first Evolution. So like the first Evolution was headlined by Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. Far from a barn.
Bring her back. Nikki's back.
So she's under contract, right? I mean, she's not going to be at WrestleMania, it seems like. But she also did say, Brie said she feels like it's wrong for Nikki to be back without Brie. Do you think they should reunite in the tag team ranks?
Bring them back. Why not?
Both
Her and Bella Twins versus Liv and Raquel at WrestleMania. Book it now.
I mean, I was thinking more of Nikki Bella being on her own because honestly, when she was on her own before she retired as a full-time competitor, like late 2016, early 2017, she was working with Carmella, she was working with Natalya, she was working with Maurice, and she was honestly having like some very good matches. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I think she could go for not go for the championship, God forbid, but like go for the Women's United States Championship. I think that could work. Yeah,
no, I mean, I don't know if Brie's coming back. I mean, I think with Nikki on her own's fine. We've discussed this 1,000 times. The tag belts deserve to be put in a garbage can, but yeah, I don't mind Nikki coming back. I think that'd be fun. Maybe Mickie James. I know she's with the company a little bit, so maybe we get a little Mickie James cameo here. Trish has obviously been back, so she can be involved in some kind of thing. So no, I mean, like I said, I think that you could do it, but I would also focus on the women you have here. Maybe highlight a little NXT action on the side. They have a great women's division. They have a lot of great women too. So no, I mean, I think it's definitely plausible.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of matches they could do. Maybe they're doing the triple threat at Mania with Io, Bianca, and Rhea, because maybe at Evolution 2 they do Bianca and Rhea one-on-one finally. And that headlines the show. Or would you rather save that for a bigger stage?
Let's save that for a bigger show.
Okay. Well, what matches would you do at an Evolution 2 beyond what we've already mentioned? Like AJ Lee could be back, maybe? Maybe that's the show where she comes back? Probably not.
I want to hold my breath on that one. We've been saying that one for years at this point. No, that is a good question. Who would you want to do? Like I said, Becky and Lyra was a possibility. I mean, I think
that's the match, yeah.
That's a match that we just all keep saying. That one would be great.
Trish versus who? I mean, Trish we know will probably be on that show.
She faced Charlotte already, right?
She has, yeah, and Becky. She hasn't faced Bayley. Not exactly.
Maybe like she turns on Tiffany. You can do that. I mean, there's some connection there.
Yep.
I mean,
probably Tiffany.
I wouldn't do like Bianca and Jade there. I'd save that for if they're ever going to face each other at like a bigger show. I don't know. You could figure it out.
Speaking of Naomi real quick, did that segment last week turn you by any chance? Because you went on record, you were on the show about 2-3 weeks ago saying, I don't give a shit about this storyline. That is my famous I don't give a shit. RJ has he has his own I don't give a shit. You said I don't give a shit about Naomi, Jade, and Bianca. That segment last week on SmackDown was great. The tide hasn't turned for you?
No, I didn't say that. I said I don't care about Naomi versus Jade.
Okay, well, I mean, it's still kind of the same thing. That's what they're building to.
And guess what?
Still doesn't care.
Sitting on my hands. I could give two shits about Naomi and Jade. No, thank you.
That segment on SmackDown was great.
It was a good segment. I still don't like. I don't want to. That SmackDown before WrestleMania. There you go.
That's a Mania match.
That is. Hey, if it's a Mania match, I'm gonna go take a leak and go get something to eat.
Oh my God. I gotta back up here in the chat. What is this Love Ziggler bullshit? Have we figured out what Love Ziggler is? I still haven't figured that out. They would have been the face of the company. They would have been the face of the company if Cody never came back. We talked about that on Tuesday. Yeah, Love Ziggler versus Veer. What is this fucking shit? I don't know what this is supposed to mean, and neither does RJ. To tell you, I can't keep reading that shit. I'm just gonna keep laughing. I really genuinely do not know what this means. Westway Farm did say though, who do you guys think will main event Evolution 2? I say Charlotte versus Bianca. Oh, honestly, I didn't even really think of that. What do you think about that as a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte's probably winning a Mania, so I guess she'd be champion. For Bianca, yeah, I don't hate it. I don't know, but the thing is, like, for a show like that, it's like, not that you want to burn it, but like, it's not like a marquee show, so it's like, do you really want to use one of your bigger? Like, that's a big women's match. Her and Bianca, I mean, that's a big match. I mean,
it is.
Not that I don't like you said, obviously it's important, but like, do you really want to use a big match like that on a show like that? Like you said, I think the first time was like Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey. Like, it's not like you're giving away a marquee women's one-on-one match. So, I mean, I don't hate the idea, but I would like to save it for. I feel like you could like bank that for a future big show.
Yeah, no, I agree. Nick said he agrees with you. I don't know if he's talking about the Naomi Jade thing.
He's agreeing on Naomi. No one cares about Naomi.
That's crazy. That was a
justice
great
for EO, no justice for Naomi.
Those are some blasphemous words there, Mr. Marceau.
You know where I live. Go up.
You know who might take issue with that? Love Ziggler. He might take issue with that.
I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Doesn't know what it means. But listen, you also mentioned the NXT women's division. Let's talk about that. They headlined the show on Tuesday. Roadblock was a great show. You told me it was a fantastic show. I said, this is no way. This show is probably going to be terrible.
Kid didn't even watch it live. What a loser.
Didn't watch it live, but I did watch it the next morning. Great show. Also, actually, before we move on, yeah, RJ versus Love Ziggler, I agree, Richie. He's asking for it.
I'll put Love Ziggler in a bulldog choke.
I was going to ask you this before we started talking about Evolution 2, so let me ask you now. Side question here. Do you have a go-to Ben & Jerry's flavor? Question in the chat, too.
I don't really get Ben & Jerry's a lot, so like couldn't even probably name you any of their flavors.
Okay.
I'm more of like go to your local parlor and get like a nice coffee Oreo. That's my go-to with chocolate sprinkles. If I'm going to be honest, is coffee Oreo with chocolate sprinkles is my go-to ice cream.
Well, two things. One, support corporate America. You got to support these corporate brands.
No, you got to support the local mom and pop shop.
They get too much support as it is. Support corporate. Support Ben & Jerry's. Support Subway, McDonald's, you know?
I love McDonald's and Subway. I just don't really normally get Ben & Jerry's.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But listen, that ice cream place that we went to around your place a couple of years ago, fantastic.
Yeah, see, local mom and pop shop.
Did they have coffee Oreo at that point? I don't remember.
They should. I mean, they have it now, definitely.
They definitely have it now. Did I turn you on a coffee Oreo, or is that something that you got yourself?
I like it myself.
I liked it. I thought I was going to be a trendsetter because I've been shouting off the rooftops about coffee Oreo for the last couple of years, and
so good.
It's amazing. It's so good. I don't even really think you need the sprinkles.
No, the sprinkles just to be a chocoholic at that point, but I mean, it's good.
It is a great flavor. And it also makes it more special because they don't have coffee Oreo. They don't have coffee Oreo at Ben & Jerry's. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, because they're corporate losers.
Yeah, Alexis is in shock. She is gagged right now. What? Wait, what? She said RJ's a coffee Oreo guy. She said in all caps.
Since Nam, bro.
What'd you say?
Since Nam, bro.
Since Nam, bro. Why is she always surprised by your opinion? She's always like shocked. I don't get it. She's always surprised by what you have to say.
What else to know?
But anyway, going back to the NXT women's division, Tuesday's Roadblock show was a great show, headlined by Stephanie Vaquer and Julia for the NXT Women's Championship, title for title. Stephanie back here walking out, the new NXT Women's Champion, and still the NXT Women's North American Champion. The entire show was great. The Hardy Boys retaining the TNA World Tag Team titles against Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Jordan Grace beating Roxanne Perez in a great match. I thought this two had a really, really good match. Obafemi beating Moose, the TNA X Division Champion, to retain the NXT Championship. And Javon Evans and Nathan Page had an excellent match as well in a New York City street fight. Honestly, top to bottom, I have seen even Brian Alvarez, which is a notorious anti-WWE person for a lot of people. Even Brian Alvarez went on record in saying this was the potentially top to bottom best episode of NXT TV possibly ever, but definitely under Shawn Michaels. And honestly, I find it very hard to disagree with that. This was an amazing show. I want your thoughts, Mr. Marceau.
No, I think top to bottom, it was an amazing show. I mean, I think this was basically a takeover on TV.
It was, yeah.
I think they all hit. Every match hit. I thought, like I said, with the Hardy Boys, like I said, even with the TNA intertwined, like the Hardy Boys and Fraxium was great. Moose and Obafemi was what it needed to be. Jordan Grace, I mean, her finisher, the way she hits it sometimes, just especially with someone probably as small as Roxanne, it comes off like even better than it does. It looks way more devastating too.
Yeah,
I thought that was a great match, kind of putting her on the map in NXT. What I'm trying to think what I'm missing here. The Page and Javon Evans match was good, and then like I said, the main event was great as well. I just, like I said, I don't know if I think there's like rumor there's an injury there with Julia, but I don't know. I'm kind of surprised she just dropped the belt so
clean
soon.
too.
Clean, I mean,
well, as it should have been.
I assume it was gonna be clean because obviously not like Stephanie's a heel or anything. But
yeah,
no, I think she's great, and hopefully Julia's not hurt or whatever the case may be. But I think Stephanie's great, and she's been highlighting that since she's been in NXT, and I think she's worthy double champ at this point. So I mean, besides Julia not holding the belt as long as she did, I think Stephanie is the right person to take the belt off her.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess my question is, which we asked a week or two ago, why the fuck would you do all of this stuff now and not at Stand and Deliver? Like, what do you even do now? Like, what can you possibly do at Stand and Deliver that tops anything that we saw on this show?
I mean, technically, I'm assuming you may have Stephanie. Maybe they have Stephanie vacate the women's North American title.
Yeah, probably.
And then maybe do like Jada and Kalani for that belt or something around that line. And then you do her and Jordan for the women's title. And you could run Fraxium and the Hardys back again for the NXT titles if you wanted.
Obafemi and Trick, maybe?
Obafemi and Trick, maybe Ricky.
Yeah, probably Ricky Saints versus either Wesley or Ethan Page. They teased that on Tuesday, too.
And then who's the North American champion? I'm blanking.
Sean Spears won the belt.
Don't do anything with him. So that belt's not on the line. I mean, come on.
Sean Spears. He finally got a belt. I think it's cool. Is it exciting? No. Do I give a shit about his faction? No. But I think it's cool.
I guess. I don't know. And then what's Lexus King, the Heritage Championship? They haven't thrown that in the garbage yet? Terrible. They need to get rid of that, so.
Too many titles, too many belts, too many cups.
Well, that's not a title. That's a cup. It's different.
Too many achievements. You get a cup. I get a cup. You won. You came last place in Little League. You get a championship. That's basically what that feels like to me. Complete fucking joke. I legitimately had to stop myself earlier when I saw Fernando say the Love Ziggler flavor smoothie is pretty good from Ben and Jerry's.
I just don't get it.
But my question is not only what is Love Ziggler, but my other question is, where is Tyreek to clarify? He came back at one point to say something fucking random when we were talking about the fucking triple threat of Mania. And then he
came and caused chaos and left.
And he just fucking left. Daniel said, dang RJ, LMAO. What was he saying dang RJ to? What did you say that was blasphemous? Daniel, we need specifications. Coffee or Richie, I will ease your nerve.
No, I see Richie's comment. It says if you go to Coffee or there's going to be a bathroom break. It's not Jersey Mike's here. I mean, if you said Jersey Mike's, yeah, make sure you got a can in the vicinity. But Coffee or should be fine.
Two things here, okay? Two things. One, coffee Oreo does not cause you to run to the bathroom afterward. Like double fudge chocolate shit, that is like belly bomber nonsense. That'll cause your stomach to get destroyed. Second of all, where is this Jersey Mike's bathroom slander coming from? I did not know that. I don't have Jersey Mike's enough to know that it destroys your stomach, but is that true now?
Have you been there?
Yes, and I didn't have any issues.
Dude, you need if you're not eating at your house, you need to like make sure you're within 5 minutes after eating Jersey Mike's. You are like running to the can after Jersey Mike's. That's at least my experience. I mean, I think they do use like fresh like products, but oof. I usually need a can instantly after eating that place.
Wait, hold on. I'm laughing at what you said, but I'm also laughing at what I'm seeing here. First of all, this is the type of content that you get when we go live here, okay? First of all, so if you're listening after the fact, join us live on YouTube every Thursday. Second of all, would you say super? I can't. What the Love Ziggler thing? What the fuck, Tyreek? Tyreek did show up and no sell it and left. Why did he do that? I don't know. I don't know why he did. You have to save me, Mr. Marceau. I don't know what's going on here.
No, yeah, I guess I'll just keep going. I don't know. Like I said, the whole Love Ziggler thing, I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm assuming it probably has to be with something with Dolph Ziggler. I don't really know what it means. I typed it on the Google machine. Love Ziggler came up like something about Dolph Ziggler. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like it's like, I don't know. I really don't. But yeah, no. Sean Spears does suck. I see Fernando says that here. Yes, he does suck. I agree with that one. A lot of no selling from Tyreek. I agree.
A lot of no selling. Yep.
No selling at all. Roadblock was the best non-PLE NXT shows ever done, which
I agree with that. Yep.
You could probably against the PLEs the last couple of years, you could probably put it up against that. And that was it was overall just an amazing show. At least I think they highlighted a lot and they had a lot of good matches. So I would definitely give them a bravo there.
I agree. I saw what Alexis said. Devin said, "Who's your brother?"
Cracked me good. I tried my best. I saw it and just couldn't hold it out.
You can't. You bought Mr. Marceau now. I lost it a long time ago, but now you got to Mr. Marceau too. He's let his Love Ziggler nickname is Mark Henry. So that's another.
Is that like
I don't get it. I don't understand the logic.
I need to know what this is because now I just need to know.
We need to know. Listen, and the worst part is it's not like he dropped it at the beginning and left. He was fucking here in the middle. He's probably just watching right now and then not saying it. He's creating chaos. He's like Joker in Dark Knight. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, he jumped in like halfway through and said something random, and then like we haven't seen him since. But
people were going off about this Love Ziggler thing before that. Fernando, yeah, everyone knows Love Ziggler. How can you not know Love Ziggler? Oh my God, it's just ridiculous. I don't know. This thing is off the rails. We'll end with this, unless Tyreek comes back. Hopefully, he'll be in another stream. Tyreek has been in other streams, so it's not like he's a random user. He's been in streams before, and I know he'll be back. And I will fucking ask him at that point. He needs to specify because this is going to bother me. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight until I find out.
Yeah, the last thing he said is Seth Rollins going to pin Roman Reigns again. Then he fled the scene.
Yes,
he fled the scene. We haven't seen him.
We haven't seen him since. He was at the beginning, and then he popped in to talk about that, and then he left again. I don't get it. I don't understand. AEW Revolution, though. I know you didn't watch the show, Mr. Marceau, but you did catch the ending with Moxley beating Cope. Or actually, specifically, he pinned Christian.
Yeah, he didn't pin anyone. He gave Christian the nice bulldog choke, and the crowd sat in their hands like I'm going to sit when Naomi and Jade face off at WrestleMania. Terrible finish.
That shit was awful.
I mean, like I said, I haven't really been deep in the AEW product lately, but I saw that discourse. I saw the finish. That is one of the worst I've seen in a while. And then it sounds like I didn't catch any of Dynamite, but from people saying Dynamite last night was straight garbage too. Terrible follow-up, I heard, at least.
It wasn't great.
I don't know. I just think, if anything, Christian just looks like the biggest moron. Why wouldn't he just wait another 5 minutes till Moxley and Cope finish and then he get one-on-one? No, he jumps in, hits his finish, and then he gets choked out. He looks like a buffoon.
Made no sense.
What an idiot.
Yeah, no, it was fucking stupid. Made no
sense.
Just
like the fact they had to wait to sign it, then that's just like, oh, we don't want to be just like the concept's just like the Money in the Bank, but like he has to sign it right there in front of the guy. Like that's another dumb thing. Like,
no, that's dumb.
Him getting choked out was probably the funniest thing I've seen in a while.
And it was
he just literally were about to win and got choked out done.
The crowd was stunned.
And it wasn't even like, boo, we're mad at you at the heel. Like, you're a heel, we're going to boo you. It was like mad, like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. It was bad. The best part is that Tony Khan went on record, and I will say this too, not to completely shit on the company. Dynamite was not great. They closed with Orange Cassidy versus Hechicero from CMLL, which was a fine match. Is it main event worthy? Absolutely not. I thought I was watching Dark. But I will say Revolution overall was great. There were a lot of great matches. They had a great cage match. Swerve and Ricochet, great. MJF and Hangman, great. The women's match, Toni Storm, Mariah May, was excellent. Like, they had a lot of awesome matches. And then they end with the worst possible match on the show. I know you're a big Boom AJ Costco guy, Mr. Marceau. You know, here comes the Boom, right?
Terrible. The fact that media outlets give these two clowns a platform is ridiculous.
They get press.
Dumb. Because they go to Costco and eat food. Stupid.
Yes, because you don't
That's what's wrong with this country.
Am I what's wrong with this country? I like myself a double chunk chocolate cookie.
That's stupid.
Or the chicken bake. Which one are you? Double chunk chocolate cookie or a chicken bake, Mr. Marceau?
I'm neither. I don't go to Costco.
No, you're C. You're Love Ziggler. That's what.
Yeah, that's my. I'm a Love Ziggler guy.
Yeah, listen. Now that main event was straight ass. People now saying save us, Swerve Strickland needs to save us. He was the champion. They should have never taken the belt off of him. And if they did, they should have put the belt right back on him. This Moxley stuff, I don't want to say Moxley is washed, but like, what are we doing here? Mr. Marceau is shaking his head. He's saying yes. Well, you've never been a Moxley fan, but especially now, though.
I've never been a Moxley guy, and I think the more I see him, the more I just go back to GCW with Nick Gage, you bum.
Him and Wheeler Yuta both?
Oh, my God. Terrible, too.
He's a main eventer. He interfered in the match.
Yeah.
He was going to turn on Moxley, and then he didn't, and I was shocked.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, it was not a good ending, but the overall show was great. Yeah, the show last night, which I caught up on before we recorded here, was definitely not eventful. Speedball Mike Bailey is there now, and I think he's really good. And I think he had a really good match with Beast Mortos, I think. So there's some stuff to look forward to. The International Championship Tournament, I like that. A lot of promos last night. Will Ospreay going off. Didn't actually love his promo, but he was going off about God knows what. But the overall show was not great. But I thought Revolution was a great show up until that terrible ending. So let me just close out with this. This is just, we're so far off the rails that we're in a ditch and we're never coming back. Nick said, pretty sure Love Ziggler is my neighbor. I thought the same thing. And Daniel had said, I don't know who Love Ziggler would be in the MCU. Nick Fury is a good guess, though. Daniel said, then Christian trying to explain it last night was even more stupid. Yeah, Christian's explanation sucked. Richie said, save us, Love Ziggler. I mean, Love Ziggler, he needs to save us, but who needs to save us is Tyreek. Tyreek just came in and explained.
Tyreek needs to come out and save us all.
I know. If he just came out and explained what it was, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
I agree.
Yeet. Listen, we'll get more into it next week. Hopefully by next week we have more answers. We know that Naomi attacked Bianca Belair. We know that the favor is going to be probably CM Punk getting his Mania main event with the triple threat closing out night one. But what we don't know is what Love Ziggler is. And hopefully we find out next week here on the stream with Mr. Marceau every single Thursday here at youtube.com/WrestleRant. Also on the audio podcast feeds, WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, all the usual favorite podcast platforms, so check it out. Yeah, the Ava stream, I think, has been topped. I think so as well. I don't want Tyreek to explain, Richie said. It makes the whole ordeal much more funnier. No, for my own sanity, I need him to explain. And I know he's fucking here somewhere. He is lurking somewhere in the comments, in the shadows. We need him to come out and expose himself, specifically next Thursday when we come back with Mr. Marceau. Brother, any parting words before we head on out here?
I got nothing. I just need to know what this means now.
If he leaves a comment or something, maybe we can, Wrestle Love Radio. maybe he can save us. Yeah, CM Punk's favor to Heyman will be to get Tyreek.
Yes, exactly. I agree with that one, Daniel.
To get Tyreek to explain this shit. Yeah, seriously. I don't even know what that could mean. That's the worst part. Like, even if it was a typo, like, what is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
well, come up. If we can get it explained, then I will give you my love.
Yeah, exactly. If I can get it, like, if it's explained, I'll tell you what my nickname is, but I got nothing here.
Yeah, me too. I'm just not sure exactly what that is. But anyway, Mr. Marceau, a pleasure as always. I got to go recover here. I'm just in shambles. But this has been amazing, brother. I'll catch you on the next one, all right?
See you later, man.
See you, boss. Take care. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. For Mr. Marceau, I'm Graham GSM Matthews. We'll catch your ass down the road.
Join Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau every Thursday as they run down their weekly wrestling rants, offer expert analysis, host exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe today on all your favorite podcast platforms and never miss an episode of WrestleRant Radio.